In the darkest nights, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, we stand tall. United forever. Strength and courage will overcome. Oh, surviving together, victorious, and never, never alone. Hand in hand, we'll face the unknown.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe you. Hey everyone, how you doing today? This beautiful Saturday, at least it is here where I am. Welcome to Surviving Together, a safe space for trauma survivors to connect and build community on their healing journeys, as well as providing trauma-related education for all. How is everyone today? I hope you are doing well. Let's see who we have here today before we get into our announcements. So far, we have Kim stopping by from My Other's Keeper, lurking as she goes to work. Hello, hello. Carmel is here as well as Crystal. Thank you guys for being here. Let's see. Body Illusion is here as well as Echo from Living My Best Life at 60. And Mustang Mike is in the house. Welcome to all of you. Hang on a second. I've got to Stigs up with my chapstick. There we go. I already got my drink. So, all right, what do we have for us today? Well, before we get into our topic of the day, I wanted to let you guys know that, yes, we have reached over 500 subscribers. We are looking for our 3,000 watch hours. We are still about 300 off. It's a 365-day rolling. I know some of you guys have been helping with our watch hours. I hear that it takes like 5 days for YouTube to kind of catch up. So we'll see by Monday where we are with that. If any of you guys want to play any of the watch lists, feel free, and we'll try to get to that 3,000 watch hour goal of ours. And it's just a goal. It just kind of says, hey, we reached it. Yeah, it'll hopefully allow, super chats and stickers and things like that. But that's not the main part for me. It's just about reaching the goal, and then we'll set another goal, and not quite sure what that's going to be at this point. Excuse me. Hey, Mustang Mike. I'm not sure if I said hello to you, but hello, hello, hello. Let's see. So we have just an announcement about other shows that are around today. If you guys are interested, after my show, I think the next one is 5 Questions with the Source. That's Doran's channel, and he's going to be on it either 5:30 or 6 Eastern. I saw 2 different times, so not sure which one. And then at 7 p.m. Eastern, Echo, Living My Best Life at 60, is going to be doing an interview of her own. So if you guys want to check those out today after my show is done, I will be heading over to my parents' house to feed the dogs and kind of watch over them until my parents get home. They left for a day trip to Chicago for a while, so I'm going to stay with them just to make sure everything's okay. One of the dogs, Kira, I know I told you guys about, she had a seizure last week, and she had another one on Thursday. So they both have been early morning, so I don't anticipate any problems, but I just feel more comfortable being over there and, just kind of watching over things before they get home. So we're kind of waiting to see if she has her third, and then she'll get on seizure medication after that. And hopefully won't have anything else when she gets on that medication. So cross your fingers with that. And what else? Carmel, you got all three laptops going. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's very, very kind of you. Yeah, like I said, we'll just kind of have to see by Monday where we are with watch hours. For one, it's a rolling. Um, Hang on, I'm sorry, guys. It's a rolling total, and so it takes a while for it to YouTube to catch up with the recent activity. But B, it's always going to change a little bit since it's that 365 rolling. My son is trying to get a hold of me, and I need to let him know that I am live because apparently he hasn't looked at the time. So there we go. Got that taken care of. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate it. Yeah, I do too. It's pretty scary to watch those seizures. My mom got to watch it for the first time, and we don't wish it on anybody. And we have to wait for that third so that they make sure that it's a consistent thing, because they don't want to get her on seizure medication until they absolutely have to, because she'll be on it the rest of her life. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope it doesn't happen. Hopefully, maybe she just had a couple and then that'll be it. So we'll see. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, since I won't be live tomorrow. We are, by we, my son and I and my brother, we're all headed over to my parents' house to celebrate Mother's Day over there, but also to do some more cleaning for them, because there's things that they just can't do now. They're in their upper 70s now, and there's mobility issues, and they just need help taking care of the house. So we're going to go over and do that on Sunday. How old is she? You mean my mom or the dog? Kira is 10, 11. So she's considered a large dog, not an extra large. I think she's like 80 pounds or so. She's a Weimaraner. So it's a pretty decent age for her. She's maybe got a couple years left. I'm not quite sure. So we'll have to see. So yes, Mike, happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there. Definitely. Anybody have Mom's Day plans? I know a lot of you have already lost your mom, so my condolences for that. And it I know can be a bittersweet day for a lot of people, but we are going to try and make it the best, for my parents, and hopefully they'll have 2 clean bathrooms and a mowed yard and some clean gutters, and we'll kind of see what else we can fit into about 3 hours worth of cleaning. I know that my shoulder has been I need to get another cortisone shot. It's been several years, and so I've been kind of putting it off until it's aching every day. But I know after washing those walls last week, it's been bugging me a little bit more. And I know I have one more wall to wash, so we'll see how that goes. You're going to be with your daughter and granddaughter, Echo? Oh, that's wonderful. 3 generations of daughters all together on Mother's Day. That will be wonderful. And taking yourself out for supper, Crystal. That's great. Celebrate, however you want to. Treating yourself, I think, is a great way of doing that if you're not going to, be with a parent. Let's see, what else do I have before we get into? So, just funny little stories. So, my parents have well water, and it's god awful. They've got a filter on it now before it actually comes out of the faucet. But to be honest, I mean, it's better than it was, but it's still not great. So I brought my Pure Zero filter over, kind of like a Brita, but it's for me, it produces the best tasting water. Absolutely love it. Put a brand new filter on it, and it lasted about 4 days before the filter just said, I give up, but it's just too much to deal with. So when I came home, I, used my water thinking, well, okay, it couldn't deal with that water anymore. Maybe it'll be okay with this. And I thought it was okay for the first day, but over the last several days, it's been tasting like lemon water. At least that's what I thought, or I thought it's just tasting funky and I'm just getting used to that funkiness. I always put a squirt of lemon. Okay, I got lemon concentrate, right? That I put in my cup and then I add the water to it. Well, even my son mentioned it tasted like lemon. He goes, "Why does the water coming out of the thing taste like lemon water?" And the most I could think of is, okay, the filter's just gone and it's just tasting funky. But now that he mentioned specifically, like it was tasting like, I'm wondering if I meant to put a squirt in my cup and I put it in the filter instead. And so it's not filtering the lemon juice out because it's not a chemical, it's not a, mineral or whatever. So I'm still gonna have to change the filter regardless. But I like the lemon water, so I don't know. So I think maybe I made a little bit of a mistake there. I'm thinking I did squirt lemon in my actual filter, which, heck, if that's all I had to do to get lemon water, I probably would have done it a long time ago. Except my son doesn't like lemon water, and we both use it. So, what are you gonna do? Hey, Joe Dello, what's going on? How are things in the UK? So yeah, that's all I got with that. So today's topic is it's going to be pretty raw. It's me and what's kind of been going on with me lately. I titled it "Moving from Pain to Healing" because I've been dealing with a lot over the past month, and I haven't been healing. I've been drifting, feeling really lost, and it's been due to a lot of different factors. I think just things swimming around in my head, and I haven't taken my own advice that I give here on the channel all the time, which is break it down, deal with it individually, look at each thing. Is there anything you can do about it? If you can't, then don't worry about it and kind of move on. There are several relationships in my life that I'm not really sure where they're going, or how the friendship should be. And that uncertainty is very unsettling. Um, every time I look at it, I'm just not really sure what I want, what they want, where things are going to end up. And, I've realized that I've really had to take a look at things today in trying to prep for this live right now. And saying there's nothing I can do about those. I'm giving of myself what I can to those relationships, and they're going to go where they're going to go. I have the people in my life who I know are there to support me, who are 100% true friends, who I know are going to be there tomorrow and the next day and next month. And, I have all of you as well. I need to rely on that, you know? Um, I need to rely on that. I've also really been struggling with trying to figure out fundraising and how to go about it in a positive way, in a good way, in a way that will get the message across, something beyond this channel, because it's I'm not the things that I want to do. I can't rely on, just the subscribers here. I don't want to. It needs to be a broader audience. And I've made some connections, but I haven't moved forward with those. I rely a lot on my court work, my court appearance work that I do for kind of that extra income, putting that money aside for the larger ticket items of things I want to do, like the flights and the book. And I've turned down my last 3 job offers that I've had, and I really struggled with that. I really struggled with whether that was the right decision to make. Um, but all 3 of them had to do with some form of a sexual assault charge, as well as a child pornography charge. And while I would not be up there defending these people, that wouldn't be my role with it. I still couldn't justify the stance that I take here. I don't know if justify is the right word. I couldn't. Oh shoot! I just had the word in my brain and I couldn't get it. I couldn't. With what I do on this channel and my goals and my aims, just being involved in any way with any of those charges, I just said, I just can't, regardless of the money, that I could have made. A line would be a good word. Um, it starts with a C, and I can't get it out of my brain. I don't. Shoot. You ever get that where you just like it's right there. I not compare, not consolidate. Ah, shoot. Yeah, you guys get what I mean. Even though I can't get the word out of my head. No, it's not the um it'll come to me as I'm talking about something else, right? I so I've been since it's like coincide. Yeah, I'll get there. So I'm having to try and figure out how to do that, and it's an area that I really know nothing about. I don't know how to go about any of that. I've made a connection with somebody who does do that, but he's extremely busy, and we're trying to get a time together to talk and him to kind of walk me through the basics. So I think in the meantime, I've just got to do my own research on that and, figure out what kind of platform is going to be best for that and how I can word things so it's genuine and coming across, honestly. Uh, there are 3 main things that I'm looking for this, money for. So I think that I'll be able to do that. It's just being able to get it out to the audience. So I'm gonna put it up on my LinkedIn, and um, hopefully then a few other people who have a larger audience on LinkedIn will be able to put it out as well there. And we'll kind of see what happens with that. Yeah, it was working for the defense. And like I said, it wouldn't be, it wasn't a trial. Um, a couple were sentencings, you know, so the person had already pled guilty. Their sentence was fairly locked in, but when you go for a sentencing, there's still, arguing for the defense, and of course, arguing for it's a range. So I'd be having to argue for, the lower side. And it just, I just didn't feel right with it. And so I finally told my colleague, I said, you know what, I've really decided that I'm not going to take any case that you offer me. Um, if it's going to have anything to do with sexual assault or child pornography. Um, I think the only way I would is if it was an arraignment, um, because everybody pleads not guilty at arraignment. It's just, it's your way to get the case started. And I'm not arguing for anything, as long as there was no bond to be arguing. If there was a bond, meaning arguing for the amount that should be set, or that the guy should walk free. I couldn't do it. So yeah, it's put a chink in the extra income, particularly because my work schedule has been very unsteady as of late. We had a project I was supposed to be starting, but we're waiting for some information from council, and we didn't hear from them. They're on the East Coast, so it was, more waiting, but then we didn't even hear from them that day. So that's days off of work that, then I've got to try and make up somewhere. And usually during a month, I can make that up with this, court appearances. But I just felt, it's my own internal moral compass, my com- my level of comfort, where I've decided I don't disparage the defense attorney for taking on those cases. And in some of those cases, I understand the circumstances and to why they would be arguing for, a lower something versus a higher something, or, trying to get them this charge versus that charge because it fits better. And I do believe in that, and I believe in the system. And there are certainly cases that I've seen where the facts as they stood, as we knew them, did warrant one thing over the other. It's just something that I have now chosen affirmatively not to be a part of. So I'm going to be, so I'm kind of working out, how I'm going to get how I'm going to get that extra income in. And so if anybody has fundraising ideas, or places to be, places to put things on, please let me know. Either email me, SurvivingTogether, SASS@gmail.com, or you can type them in the comments. Be happy to take any guidance or suggestions that you guys might have in regards to that. Hi, Rockin' with Cowboy. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. New subscriber and new time in the chat. So welcome, welcome, welcome here to our SaaS community. We are, if you have not hit the like button, if you want to do that quick before you head out here today, that's really appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed already, if you're watching this on replay, please consider it. Hit the all bell for notifications, and that way you'll be notified of all our lives or whenever I do a community post or post a short. The other thing with my work not being consistent is it really messes with my routine, and I've allowed it to. And that's something that is one of the things that I'm extremely, I'm working on. So I've decided that my routine, the way that I'm going to be accomplishing that is by I now have my alarm set again. I don't need an alarm in the morning because I have my cat alarm. They're very good at making sure that I'm up by 7 every single day. They got me up at 6 today. Sometimes it's 5:30, sometimes it's 6:30, but it's always within that range. But I have my alarm set for 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, and actually like 7:50. It's my cue to get myself into my office. So wherever I am at the time, I need to be in my office chair by 8 a.m. and be working, whether it is on a project that I have, my day job, or whether it's working on the channel, whether it's doing research for the channel or just learning more about fundraising things, or I've got some videos to watch that I've been sent from Women Changing the World on how to kind of capitalize on the momentum from the awards and how to get things out there with the media to have more of a ball rolling that way. I have a lot of things that I can be doing with that, and I haven't been because the days off I get off my routine and I vibe low. So I think that's really going to help me in doing that. And I'm also going to be spending 5 to 15 minutes, kind of depending on my time frame of when I get up. I always get my coffee and I feed the cats first thing when I get up. Otherwise, I would not be able to do any meditation. But I really want to be able to do some meditation first thing in the morning. And especially now that it's nicer out, I can just take my coffee. I can go out onto the deck or I can sit on my couch, set my timer for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and just spend that as quiet time in my head. And whether it's figuring out what my day is going to be, um, whether that's working on internal issues that I have, whether it's just spending quiet time and kind of seeing what comes up. I think I need that every day. I do meditate, but it's hodgepodge, here and there. So I think that's going to be this one of the steps that I'm going to be taking. Um, these are things that we've talked about before. Routine is one thing that really, really does help me with healing. And I need to make sure that I do it. And setting these alarms is really going to help me. We have another alarm set for noon. It may change the time, but for right now, it's set for noon. And that is going to be my walking time for 30 minutes. Whether I change it to exercise of some other sort, that's, going to be dependent on me or the day if it's raining. But that's going to be my time to get up and to move for at least 30 minutes solid. So I'll have that alarm set as well. I think having these things in place is really going to help me keep myself moving forward and not getting stuck because it's so easy for me to do. Hey, Jimena, how are you doing today? Happy Mexican Mother's Day. Today, May 10th, I learned, is Mexican Mother's Day. They have it on the same day every year, May 10th. Just happens to be the day before Mother's Day right now, this year. So next year, I believe it should fall on our Mother's Day. So happy Mexican Mother's Day to you and to any other Mexican mothers out there. So the other thing that I've really been struggling with has been the channel in general. Our chat numbers, like right now, we've got 5 people in the chat, and we had been getting up to 10, 15 pretty regularly. Our views had been getting 120, 100, 120 views on each of our lives. And we're back down to about 50, 60, which is kind of where we were in the beginning. So I've been struggling with looking at the channel content, um, looking at myself as the content creator and presenter, and what do I need to do differently? What kinds of things are going to interest you? I know you guys are pretty quiet when it comes to that. And, anything you have, any suggestions that you have, even if it's just kind of a generality of a topic, I'm more than willing to hear about, and I welcome um, all of your recommendations. Echo says you do much better with a routine. Yeah, I've gotten kind of out of my list making habit, which is bad for me because I will forget things. So that's another piece of the routine, having my list and then being able to look at them every day and say, okay, what do I need to do? Is there something that absolutely has to happen today, non-channel wise or non-work wise? Is there something, channel wise? Okay, I don't have work today, so it's channel work day. What do I want to get accomplished? And I need to be writing down very specifically, not just channel work, but what do I want to be doing? I want to watch this particular video, or I want to research this topic, and getting back to that so that I can have a plan for each day. That is going to be extremely helpful, I do believe, for me. And that's going to keep me moving forward in my healing journey. Amanda says routines are very helpful. Yeah, I at least find them. I mean, some people are okay with, their day just kind of being a free for all, and they're like, great, I don't have anything absolute that I have to do, and they're able to fill it with, whatever they need to. And I'm just not one of those people who work well that way. Hang on, guys, I need a drink. I'm reading your comments, but I keep forgetting to put them up on the screen, which I know people like. So let's do that. Krista says, I think some of the slowdown might be because the season changed, people wanting to get outside as much as they can because winter is finally over. Absolutely. I think that that's very valid. And it's something that some people did mention. I put out a community post kind of asking, hey, what's going on? If you're not coming into the lives, why not? If you're not watching, why not? And that was one of the things. Some of it was content. April was Sexual Assault Awareness Month, so I had concentrated a lot on that. I won't be doing every live on that subject. Now May is mental health month, which is quite broad, and so kind of free form if I want to do anything that has to do with mental health. But I'm not going to be doing that, every month. I know June is something, and I can use it for guidance if I'm looking for something, looking for a topic. I can look to whatever the month happens to be and try and pull something from that. But it's not going to be the guide for the lives for each month. Jimena says, I think your message is very valuable. Perhaps try a different schedule. I considered this, and honestly, what I found was most people were fairly happy with the way the schedule was. They may not be able to tune in on Saturdays, but they didn't really have another time that they said, would work better instead. They just watched the replay. So my plan for right now is just kind of keep on with this, keep on with this schedule for May, because I have most of May already mapped out with either guests or subjects that I want to cover. So we'll stay on this schedule, and I'm going to reevaluate as of June. And if I need to add a different time or change one of my days, we'll kind of, do accordingly, I guess. We'll see. The analytics don't really give me much in terms of timing. I love having you guys who are in Europe, and I don't want to go too much later to lose any of you. So yeah, I just have to see. Maybe I'll do an earlier on Saturday. Maybe Saturday morning would be better. Uh, like in a 10 or 11 Eastern. Um, we'll think. We'll just have to see. Echo says, in my journey on YouTube, I've had to decide my intention behind my channel several times. Yeah, and I think that's really important that it is a journey. Very few people get on here and have their channel take off right away with the very initial, tract or plan that they had. We have to readjust. And although I am primarily a trauma channel, it's what do you guys want to hear? If I end up switching kind of more to mental health, but obviously still recognizing trauma survivors and recognizing the trauma behind it, that's something that I can do as well. I'm not locked in terms of only talking about trauma. There's so much that goes along with that there's, just a lot of arenas open up in regards to that. I love looking at the scientific discoveries that they're figuring out that have to do with mental health, that have to do with the mind-gut connection, you know, the things with the body. It's fascinating to me. So I want to try and stay on top of that too, and bring those things to you. Um, anything that if it's of interest to you and slightly connected to our purpose here, I'm willing to explore it. Certainly willing to consider it. Amanda says, I think you could see the analytics and see what's working, adapt from without changing your purpose. I've done it several times too. Yeah. And, I'm going to look back through the analytics and see beyond my cat shorts, which honestly have done the best out of everything, which I love them. And if they do something crazy or funny or sweet, I'll still put them up. But it's a one-off type thing. Echo says, I found that when I do things I want or like, then I see new people watching my content. Yeah, absolutely. And I try to do things that I at least have some interest in. If a topic has absolutely no interest to me, it's harder for me to make it interesting for you or to find the value in it. And convey that to you if I'm not seeing it myself, right? If it's a topic I really have no experience in, but I think it's important to talk about, that's usually when I'm looking for a guest to talk about it. Like the Soma exercises. I know about them. I know of them. I can watch YouTube videos on them, but I certainly am not an expert. So that's why I'm very excited about next Wednesday. What's next Wednesday? 21st, I believe. Hang on a second, guys. I gotta look at something. Because I don't want to get it wrong. Oh, May 17th. Oh, she's on Saturday. Oh, I got it totally wrong. Okay, so next Saturday, a week from today, Next Saturday will be our trauma therapist on here, talking about the difference between a non-trauma informed therapist and a trauma informed therapist, and then also doing the going through the hour Soma exercise workshop. So I'm super, super excited about that. I will be putting a separate post out next week about that to remind you guys all. I think it is going to be extremely helpful, whether you're able to be here for the live or you're watching on replay. But if you're here on the live, you'll get to talk with our guests directly. So that's kind of the incentive for you to actually be here. Crystal says, I've really liked this channel as it does deal more with trauma. It's a safe place to land, and I haven't seen other channels that deal with trauma the same way you do. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And yeah, that's why I said I don't want to stray from my goal, which is to be here for trauma survivors and to provide trauma-related education, because I think it's extremely important. I also don't want to get stale for you guys. And I want to be able to do what interests you as well. So it's just, being on YouTube, putting yourself out there, it's never an easy journey. The numbers are kind of all we have to go by. And I want to reach more people. I value each and every one of you who are here and who have been here, and I don't want to lose you. So that is extremely important to me. I don't want to venture into something else that gains me new subscribers or new viewers over here, but then I'm losing the core base of you guys who have been here and what you're interested in. So it's kind of, it's a balancing act. What is going to be of interest to everybody? Is it the topic? Is it the way that I'm presenting it? Is there something lacking in my presentation that just needs to be added? So I'm looking at all of that. And it's a hard thing to talk about because I do not feel like a failure here, because I know how many of you have been helped by having this space. And I am honored to have this space for all. And as long as people find value in this space, I will continue to hold that. My goals with reaching more people is just that our message, that this is a safe space, that there are places where you can come, that's reaching more people, and that we're spreading the word in regards to that. So anything that you guys can do, if you know people who might find value in this, please share just the channel name, share the individual videos, whether it's a short or whether it's one of our full lives or my story, whatever. I just want to help. That's it. I just want to help. I want to help survivors. As well as, like I said, providing trauma-related education, because there are so many people. Trauma doesn't just affect the survivor, right? It affects the people around you. Trauma will affect so many people throughout their lives. So even if you haven't suffered trauma now, you might in the future, or you may know someone now or in the future who suffers trauma. And how do you be there for them? So not only just knowing how to support them, but knowing about trauma in general, knowing what to look for, all of that stuff I think is so critical, and why I still want to provide trauma related education for all. So that's who my audience is. Um, Echo asked, who am I trying to reach? I agree with Crystal that this is a safe space for survivors. And first and foremost, that will always be my goal. If for any reason this is seeming like it is not a safe space for survivors to be anymore, you guys need to let me know, because that core piece I will never let go of. It's why I have the rules that I do. It's why I block the people that I have. You should have a space where you can feel comfortable just to be. Like I said, nobody ever has to share their story here. Nobody has to even know if you are a survivor. Just because you come here does not mean you are a survivor. You may just be here because you want to learn about trauma. You may be here because you want to learn about whatever topic we're talking about that day, or you just want to support me. So unless I know your story in particular, it doesn't mean that you have to be a survivor or identify yourself as one. Hey, Crystal Phoenix, I'm sorry I didn't see you come in. How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling well. Patty, you came in as well. So welcome. Thank you for being here this afternoon. Patty says, I usually just lurk, but I wanted to say hi and tell you how much I love this community and how everyone brings something different. You, Jimena, John, Ben, Keela, we need the integrity you bring. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think it's definitely important. We all touch on mental health to some degree, but we also have our own individual I wouldn't say motto's not the right phrase, but our mission, I guess. Where's our focus? And mine certainly is on trauma and trauma survivors. Jimena's a little different. She deals a little bit more with spirituality, and Keela's focused on mental health and just issues surrounding mental health. So yeah, we all have an overlap, but there's definitely room for all of us here. I just want to make sure that in my growth goal that I'm serving the population that is here. I never want to lose sight of that. Echo says, in general, I think we are all survivors in some way. And I think you're right. The chances of you getting through life without some form of trauma are very slim. It's just how big is your trauma? How, in terms of, is it a big T trauma? Is it a little T trauma? How long does it take you to deal with that trauma? Like we said, some people are able to get through a traumatic situation easier than others, and it depends on so many different factors. And just because you've had to struggle more than somebody else, your healing journey is longer than somebody else, doesn't matter. But some person who, kind of got through whatever their situation was in a few weeks or a few months may not feel the need for having a space like this, and that's okay. That's okay. Cosmic, there you are. Cosmic came in. Hello. She says, hello, loves to all. Thank you for being here. I hope you are doing well. I hope you had a nice break. James Simpson is here as well. Hi, James. How are things going for you over in the UK? Someplace that I definitely want to get. Oh my goodness, James. Says I had trauma when I was being born, a C-section. My heart stopped beating at one point. Holy moly. Well, I hope that you have not had any complications from that, but it sounds like you might have. That is scary, scary, scary. Because some people like me have blocked things out when we come here and hear something that will help us. Absolutely. And somebody was just telling me the other day how they don't remember a whole lot about their childhood. And I wrote back to them and said it's totally normal, perfectly common. There's a lot of things I don't remember about my childhood. Most of the memories that I have about my childhood are snapshots from that vacation or because of pictures that I've seen. So I remember being at Temple for Purim on that particular day. But in general, just to kind of think back on my childhood and what a day was like, what was my dad doing? What was my mom doing? What was my brother doing? I can't remember. I don't know. So I know what I was dealing with. I know the issues that I have coming out of that. So for me personally, I don't need to remember all of those pieces. But you may find that that's something that you do need. That's definitely something to work through with a trauma-informed therapist. Taking you back and being able to figure out issues. Hey, Misha, how are you doing? Carmel says, I remember all of the childhood, the beatings, emotional neglect, etc. Yeah, it's different for everybody. Um, and that's why we can't trauma compare. Everyone's situation is so individual. And that trauma, that pain, if that's the worst for you, that's the worst for you. And because somebody else dealt with something else doesn't mean that your situation is any less painful or any less difficult to deal with. That's why we all have to look at our individual journeys as to where we are. And I think, I can liken that to this YouTube journey as well. There are other channels that I have seen that have grown exponentially compared to what we have here. And they talk about nothing. I mean, literally, maybe they deal with drama or their entertainment, or they just show themselves in their daily lives. And they grow and they grow and they grow. And I look at this and go, what am I doing wrong? And then I have to remember I deal with a subject that most people don't want to deal with. That's tough to look at. And so that's not going to grow as quickly as something else. And that's why I will still be here week after week, month after month, regardless. Like I said, if there are people who are still finding value in this, no matter what the numbers are, then that's what's important to me. I just want to make sure that it is content that is needed, that is wanted. So again, any suggestions, please shoot them in the comments, put them in in an email to me if you don't feel comfortable with other people being able to read them. Just let me know. Crystal had made a comment about possibly having other guests on, and that is definitely something that um, I've been working on a little bit. We're going to see how that goes. So the 17th, we have our Deborah Lee. She's a trauma therapist. She'll be doing a 1-hour Soma exercise workshop with us. So I anticipate talking to her for about half an hour or so, and then start the workshop after that. The Wednesday after that, the 21st, we have Shine Dig from his channel at Shine Dig. And he's going to be talking about his experience as an addiction counselor for men and men's trauma. And we're going to kind of talk about how that differs from trauma that women may feel, and really the similarities between them as well. Talking a little bit about trauma that underlies addiction. And then the next one that we have set is going to be on the 28th, which is a Wednesday as well. And Sammy Yarborough from After the Bars is going to be talking about his trauma experience from prison and how he didn't really realize all of the PTSD and trauma until after he got out. So I think you're busy living day to day, today, today. And so it's not until you get to a safe space that you can process all of that. And then being able to realize everything that, you were put through. So he'll be on the 28th, and that should be a really interesting conversation as well. So totally different genres in terms of, the focus there, but all on mental health. So I hope that you guys join us for each and every one of those, whether it's watching with us and being able to speak to the guest that we have on. If you have any questions for them, think about it. Or even afterwards, if you're watching on replay, if you write a comment or a question in the comments, I'm happy to address it with the guest if it's a question, and reply with an answer. So Crystal says, I think it's something that needs to be put out there. There will be people in the future that will end up coming across this channel just when they need it most, and that's important. Absolutely. Misha says, besides, growing organically is the best way, in my opinion. I've helped so many channels personally and still very small, and you're good with that. Yeah. And that's going along with that. Echo says, I think it's exposure here on YouTube. That's why I do my best to be able to network with other content creators, to pass along my message that way. And I think just time is going to help, right? I think I've gotten the descriptions and the hashtags down as best I can. And yeah, it is just a matter of people being able to come across. If any of you find a channel that you think would be good for me to connect with in order to get my message to them, to get a shout out there, or to be connecting with their audience, or collaboration that might be made, please let me know. You guys are all integral to this community. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This channel would not be here without you. You guys make this possible. So any suggestions you have, I know I don't get into as many live streams of you guys as I'd like. That's just part of trying to be everywhere at once. Actually, over the next couple weeks, I'm going to be pretty much nowhere but here, and that's by design. I need to get my routine down. That's extremely critical for my healing journey. And as a part of it, I'm going to have to step back from trying to be in other people's lives, just from a timing standpoint. So I'll still be doing what I can in the evenings, but during the day, I guess I should say it's going to be far and few between if I make a live during the day. Getting that work schedule down, whether it's my day job work or whether then it's channel work, I have to be able to focus on that. I've got my music that I'm going to be using for it, which is a meditation spa kind of playlist uh, that is just going to be able to play in the background of my mind. It helps me to be able to focus not on music, not on the words, but on what I'm doing. So I'm going to be using that as well. Uh, and that's, I think, going to be extremely helpful for me. Oh, excuse me. Thirsty today, for some reason. I think it might be the amount of lemon in this water. Like I said, guys, I think I might have screwed up and put my lemon juice concentrate in my filter. Anybody ever done that before? Do you know if it does come out as lemon water? Misha says, I've been working behind the scenes as well. Not going to be seen as much either, but good news is coming on the horizon, though. That's awesome. We will await with bated breath as to what good is coming on. Nancy Drew is here. She said, can you get light language? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Can you explain a little bit more? Be happy to try and answer that. I don't know what light language is. Misha apparently does. What is light language? Tell me, tell me. I'm chomping at the bit. And Nancy, welcome. Okay, I got either one of you. Do I have to just channeling? I'm still not 100% sure, so let's do this. Okay, this says light language is a universal channeled expression that is believed to be the language of the soul, often referred to as soul language or language of the stars. It is an intuitive and often spontaneous form of communication that can manifest in various ways, including speech, singing, writing, or even through movement or symbols. I would have to learn more about this because I don't know very much about it. I pulled up a blog article from Mind Valley, which I love. It's a very trusted source, and I will definitely read more about it. Definitely would need to I definitely would have to learn. I'm going to read this article that from Mind Valley that I've got pulled up afterwards, Nancy. Bring vibrational energies from within. Misha says, I've been talking it my entire life. The Grand Princess as well. I will have to learn more about it. I mean, sounds like a positive thing and a very great thing. And if it's a skill that I can learn that will be more effective, I will certainly see what I can do about it. So thank you for bringing it to my attention, Nancy. I appreciate it. Whoops. Patty says, I just wanted to say in person, congrats on your awards, Mac. Thanks. Thank you very much. I finally got my award speech. Actually, I had to redo it. I couldn't do the award speech that I'd done on the channel right after because it was too long. So I had to cut it down. And I have a feeling that's why I haven't actually gotten my award mailed to me, because they hadn't gotten my speech. And when I tried to get them the speech, the new one that was less than a minute, it got returned to me. So I sent it to the person who I know deals with everything, and we'll see if they get it to the right person. So we're trying on that avenue. So when I actually get the award in person, I will definitely be showing it to you, and probably put it somewhere back there where you guys can see it, at least see it when I'm over this way. I'll readjust the camera a little bit then. Misha says, I feel like it is more something that should be done through someone who is a teacher of light language more than adding it to your list, like someone who is drawn to it on their own. Okay. Well, I think the first step, though, is for me to learn a little bit more about it. And if any of you know light language teachers, please let me know. I have no idea where I would find one except for through Google. But let me look into it some more and see what I can learn. I think there are times when I have something to say, it comes to mind, and I'll feel self-conscious about what I'm wearing or what my hair looks like that day. And, I could just make a video on my phone, right? And it could be a short or whatever about whatever it is I'm thinking, and put that up. And I want to do more of that. I think some more of whatever's kind of coming through with me at the moment is content that would be of interest to you. Sometimes they're epiphanies, sometimes it's just a thought, and I end up thinking too much about the content or how I look or where I am. And I think I might try just doing some more of just the posting of whatever, wherever I happen to be, whatever I happen to be wearing, however I happen to look at that moment. That's what I'm going to put out there, and we'll see how well received it is. If it's not well received, if not many people are viewing it, then I know that it's, not really something that's going to work or it's going to be helpful. Because when I say work, it means that people are watching it. People want to see this content. It's something that's of interest that you might share on, even if you yourself didn't get anything out of it. So for me, that's, what working is. That's what's being successful is. Misha says, I think that is a great thing to do. Trust your instincts. There's a reason why we have gathered. Yeah. And I think that's one reason why I've been a little resistant to looking at some of these packages that have been sent across through some organizations that I've been involved with, through the awards, in terms of marketing myself and capitalizing on the award, because I haven't quite figured out how to do that without sounding packaged. I don't want to just write to my local news agency and say, hey, I won this award. Could you put it out there? I just feel really awkward doing that. I don't know. Maybe I should, though. Um, maybe that's a type of exposure that would be good for the channel. Because whatever I do in regards to that, it's the channel that I'm considering. It's not accolades personally. As I said in my acceptance speech, the one that I just redid, the award that I won, it goes to all of you guys. Every single one of you that is here, that comes in here, that views these, this award goes to you because it wouldn't be possible without you. So no, just as I put that in my acceptance speech when I got the award, that was in my other acceptance speech as well, the one that got sent in to them. You guys make this possible. Misha finds it hard to self-promote as well. Yeah, it's because, like I said, it's not about me. And that's one of the reasons I've been holding back a little bit on trying to capitalize, on this award, is because it's about the channel. And anything I do, I want to make sure that that's the message that's getting across. So my acceptance speech that I sent in, the first thing, I thanked the awards organization for recognizing my YouTube channel. And I said what it was and what the purpose was. And then I thanked all of you guys, because this is not about me. It's not about my personal accomplishment. It's about what this channel is and who this channel is for. That's what I want to get across in terms of self-promotion. This channel is the promotion, or is the focus, I guess I should say, of the promotion. I never want to seem like it's about me, right? I'm promoting me. No, I'm promoting the channel. And that needs to be front and center. And I always need to make sure that that's coming across. And I'm always fearful of sounding like I'm self-aggrandizing, because it's not about Sharon. It's about Mac being the host of this channel. So again, any ideas that you guys have, things that you want to see, places you think I should be, people that you think I should network, let me know. I am open to all of it. I truly want to make this the best space possible for all of you who are here and anybody else that we can reach to bring in who are interested in the type of content that we do here. I am never going to change my focus on trauma survivors and trauma-related education. Sure, there are other topics that I could do, things that I could talk about, but I'm not bringing any drama to this channel. I purposely stay away from it. If I watch anything that is kind of drama related, I don't comment on it, because whether it's Surviving Together or whether it's TKD, my other, my personal channel, I don't want to be associated with that. So that's one of my promises to you, is that this will always remain drama-free. So there's some cases that I've considered covering. Nothing that is going on right now. I'm never gonna cover the Diddy case, unless something truly weird happens and I decide I'm gonna cover the Diddy case. But if I do, I'm gonna do it on the Law Ninja, right? The only reason I haven't done anything with that so far is StreamYard is being very difficult in connecting with my Law Ninja channel. So that is why I have not done anything more with that. So as soon as I can figure that out, maybe I'll be doing a little bit more with that. Oh, so at 4:40 Eastern time, so in about 30 minutes, Cosmic Christie is going to be going on. So Misha has put up her Cosmics link right there. So if you guys want to head over there at 4:30, because we are going to be ending here in just a few minutes. Let's see. Carmel says, don't forget, if you hadn't started this channel, we wouldn't be here. Don't underestimate yourself. Thank you. Thank you, Carmel. And Echo says, great point, Carmel. Yeah, I just want this to be as good as it can be. And to me, true growth just means that we're reaching more people. And more people are interested in the type of content that we have here. And whether that's moving times that's more convenient for people, I'm totally willing to do that. It's just a matter of figuring out if there is a better time, or is this just kind of the way things are for right now because we do have spring? I certainly know that, if I wasn't here right now, I'd be probably out on my porch. Well, I'm going to be over at my parents taking care of the dogs, but you know what I mean? Because it's like spring, it's nice, yay, in Michigan, just, we're getting sun, woohoo. So I totally understand that. So we'll kind of see how the replay numbers go through this month, and then we'll make a decision as to whether or not a switch needs to be made. Thank you, Jimena. I love you too, girl. I appreciate it. Guys, remember, Jimena is on every day at, what are you, 2 p.m. Eastern now, I think. Are you at 1 or 2? I can't quite remember. Hi, Spend. How you doing? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here this afternoon. 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Yes. With our time change, that went a little different. Sorry, guys. I have an itch on my foot, so I'm like kind of bopping around a little bit. But well, that's about all I had for today. So please, again, if you haven't already, if you could hit the like button on your way out, I really appreciate it. Comment after the show. If you're on replay, or if you're here, you'll have to just wait a minute after the outro is done for the comment section to appear. And that the algorithm then really picks up the video and helps push it out. So the other way that we actually get our word out there. Thank you all for being here, for listening to me today, for growing with me, and for helping me, because you certainly helped me a lot. And like I said, this is my healing journey as much as it is anybody else's. So thank you. Remember that you are worthy, you are valuable, and you are loved just the way you are, for who you are. So hugs and love from me. I will see you Wednesday at 6 p.m. Topic to be determined. And Cosmic is on soon. And then Echo is going to be on at 7 p.m. as well. So lots of things to watch here today. Hugs and love, guys. See you later. Surviving together, never alone.
Through the fire, through the rain, we have walked through endless pain, but we stand, we rise again, stronger now, we break the chain. Surviving together, hearts open wide, lifting each other through every tide. The past may have shaped us, but it won't define. Together we heal, together we shine. Every tear, every scar tells the story of who we are. Not just survivors, but warriors too. With love as our armor, we see this through. We see you, we hear you, and we believe in you. Surviving together, hearts open wide, lifting each other through every tide. The past may have shaped us, but it won't define. Together we heal, together we shine. We see you, we hear